We live in a world that thrives on wanting. Wanting more money, more things, more status, more attention. But what if the key to real wealth isn't found in wanting more, but in wanting less? What if true growth, both financially and personally, begins not when you chase everything, but when you cut away what doesn't matter? This is the heart of Stoic philosophy, and it may be the clearest path to financial freedom that most people overlook. To desire less is not to give up on success. It's not to be poor. It's to be intentional. To be free from the trap that ruins most people's lives, endless craving. Because craving leads to debt. It leads to stress. It leads to chasing the next thing without ever enjoying the present one. The Stoics understood this long before credit cards, online shopping, and luxury brands existed. They saw the human mind clearly. And what they saw is still true today. The more you want, the less free you are. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." You can make $10,000 a month and still feel broke if your desires are out of control. You can have a beautiful home, a nice car, and a full bank account, but if you're constantly comparing, constantly upgrading, constantly dissatisfied, then you're not rich. You're just stuck in a better-looking cage. So what does it mean to desire less? It doesn't mean you stop growing or improving. It means you shift your focus. You stop asking, "What else can I get?" and you start asking, "What truly adds value to my life?" You stop spending to escape boredom and start saving to build peace. You stop chasing symbols of wealth and start practicing the behaviors that quietly build it. When you reduce desire, you increase clarity. You start to see what actually matters. Maybe it's time with your family. Maybe it's freedom over your schedule. Maybe it's the ability to wake up without anxiety because your expenses are low and your savings are high. None of these things require you to be a millionaire, but they do require you to think like a Stoic. The modern world teaches you to consume more to feel better, but Stoicism teaches you that you become better when you consume less. Growth comes not from indulgence, but from discipline. And this applies directly to money. Every dollar you don't spend unnecessarily is a dollar that buys you freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom from toxic jobs, freedom from dependence. Imagine for a moment that you cut your desires in half. Suddenly, your current income goes further. Your savings grow faster. You stop needing raises to survive. You stop needing to impress others just to feel like you belong. You stop trading your time for things you didn't even want to begin with. That is the Stoic way to grow, not by force, not by luck, but by subtracting what doesn't serve you. Desire less. Grow more. This idea becomes a powerful financial engine. Because now, every habit, every decision, every expense passes through a filter. Is this helping me live better, or just look better? The Stoic learns to say no. Not out of fear, but out of strength. They know that just because you can buy something doesn't mean you should. That just because something feels urgent doesn't mean it's important. That wealth is not measured in possessions, but in peace. And peace comes from simplicity. Let's talk about growth. Not the hype-driven, hustle culture kind of growth, but real, steady, honest growth. The Stoic approach to money is slow. It's quiet. It doesn't brag. It doesn't depend on sudden wins. It depends on daily discipline, on living beneath your means, on being patient when everyone else is panicking, on building not for attention, but for resilience. This kind of growth is unshakable, because it's not tied to status or success or likes. It's tied to values. Values like wisdom, restraint, intention, purpose. When you grow from that place, your wealth becomes sustainable. And so does your peace of mind. To live the Stoic way is to understand that desire is natural, but indulging every desire is dangerous. You don't have to reject all comfort, but you do have to question everything you consume, because everything you say yes to comes with a price. Every luxury becomes a responsibility. Every possession becomes something you have to maintain, protect, and pay for. The Stoic sees this clearly and chooses differently. They choose to spend on things that matter, not to impress, but to express what they value. They invest not just in assets, but in self-awareness. They understand that the goal of money is not to look powerful, but to become free, to have space, time, and control over your life. And none of that is possible if your desires keep growing faster than your income. So ask yourself, what am I chasing that I don't really need? What expenses are keeping me trapped? What am I buying to escape emotions I don't want to face? Then pause and cut them, not to punish yourself, but to unburden yourself, to make room for clarity, for freedom, for actual growth. Desire less, grow more. Let that be your compass. Let that shape how you earn, how you save, how you invest, how you live. It's not a rule. It's a mindset. And that mindset is more powerful than any strategy, any stock, any salary. Because it's not about being rich. It's about being free. And freedom is the richest feeling on earth. If you believe that too, if you're ready to grow not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, and intentionally, then you're in the right place. Subscribe now to this channel because this is just the beginning. Here we grow by needing less, thinking deeper, and building wealth the Stoic way. Welcome to your new path.